Good morning, good afternoon. We're at the Daily Antidote of Song, and it is Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. Yay! Hi, Facebook Live. Hi, everybody here. Yay! I'm Anna. Many of you might know me, but if you don't, I am the Daily Antidote of Song assistant, newly, fresh. And I am just so excited to see you all. I'm going to try to do the hellos today for the first time. I'm really excited. Please forgive me if I make any little mistakes. Hi, Joe, our dear fearless leader and a dear friend of mine. Hi. Hi, Marnie, who is on the PCI, the Pinewoods Board of Directors. Welcome. Hi, Matt Watroba. You are our performer today, our song leader. Yay. Hi, Reggie Harris, our fantastic host. Hi, Becky in BC. Hi, Trish. Hi, Claire in Boise. Hi, Aloysius. Hi, Rosalie. Hi, Mabel, Miss Cinnamon Bears. Hi, Susan Gilletley, my aunt. Hi, Arlene in Berkeley. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Cricket. Hi, Dan Walker, who's always so sweet and always messages me whenever I'm doing things here to say hi. Hi, Kate in Charlottesville. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Sarah in Texas. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Carolyn. Good to see you. And a real animal. There's a real animal today. Ah! Hi, Gary. Hi, Susan in Ohio. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Shari Shakti, the amazing Contradance caller. Hi, James Harkless. Hi, Ruth in Birmingham. Hi, Bonnie in Boise. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Luda. Thanks for the heart. Hi, Amanda and Miles. Good to see you both. Hi, Christiana and Bob, wherever he is. Hi, Barb. Hi, Susan in Seattle. Hi, Deli. Good to see you in here. Hi, Storm. Hi, Jim in New York City. Hi, Nancy and the beautiful cow. Hi, Jane in Texas. Hi, Bronwyn. Hi, Karen in Oregon. Welcome. Hi, Ann in Knoxville. Hi, Phil in Bristol today. Hi, Barb in Bria. Hi, Ann in Nashville. Hi, Julie in Ontario. Busy. Hi. Hi, Tom in Victoria, BC, and Loriana and Kachina and Courtney. And hi, Fred. Anyone else? Yes. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Carol in Connecticut. And anyone else that I've missed? Hi, hi, hi. Welcome. I'm just going to send you all a few reminders before we start the awesomeness. Tonight is the next Constructive White Conversations in Baltimore, which is on Zoom tonight. We'll have more info about that in the chat. And tomorrow is our Daily Antidote of Song cocktail party, and you are all very cordially invited. Please come from 4 to 5:30. Joe will be there. I will be there. I know Kevin will be there because he's doing the hellos. And we'll have more info about that in the chat as well. And now it is almost singing time. But first, I want to introduce Reggie Harris, a dear Daily Antidote family member and singer, and we're just really glad to have him. Yay!
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And hello, family. Oh, my goodness, it's been so long since I was with you. And here I am, and I'm scrolling through to see your beautiful faces. And I am so thrilled to be here today, not only because I haven't been here for a while, but also because I get to come today to present and celebrate one of my favorite people in the world. And I don't say that lightly, although I have a lot of favorite people in the world. But at any rate, one of my favorite people in the world actually lives in Michigan. And Matt Watroba and I have been friends for a long, long time. Matt is an amazing songwriter, amazing song leader. He's a radio DJ of great renown. He has interviewed over the course of years some of, well, just about anybody that you could possibly name in music that's really worth interviewing. And Matt is one of the best interviewers I know, and his grasp of music is just so vast and so incredible. But the way that he uses that to connect people and to spread the joy of song is one of the things that I so much admire about him. So Matt's here today, and I'd like you all to give a big welcome to Matt Watroba. And Matt, what do you have for us today?
Oh, it was so hard to narrow this down to just one, Reggie, but let me just tell you, it is just a joy to be part of this community today. What a great vibe going on here, I got to tell you. Yeah, it's so hard to get it down to one song, but I picked this song written by a young woman down in Asheville, North Carolina, who I met through leading songs at the Swannanoa Gathering. And her name is Saro Lynch-Thomason. Some of you may be familiar with Saro's work. This is a song that I first heard sung where I ought to, around a big circle of singers down at Swannanoa, and it just got me. So I'm going to teach you. It comes in 3 verses, and it's a zipper song, and so I'm going to teach you the A and the B part of the first verse, and then we can sing the whole thing in a little bit. But let's go with the A and the B part. I don't know if you can see the lyrics, but they may not even be that important at this point. So here's the way the song goes. Here's the A part.
Lyrics are in the chat.
They're in the chat. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. Try that. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. That's the A part. And the B part is slightly different. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. That's the B part. Let's try the whole thing together. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. Now notice there's a nice little break after the word more. It's always more effective if you don't hold that out. There are more, right? Let that up, and you'll see that space will make a difference when we sing it all together. Now, Reggie, are we singing the whole song now, or are we talking now?
We're singing now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well,
so lead away.
Bring up those lyrics, and let's see what happens. Saro Lynch-Thomason. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. I will wade through the water, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the water, this I know. I will wade through the water when they find their way to me. I will wade through the water, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the water, this I know. I will walk through the fire. This I know, this I know. I will walk through the fire. This I know. I will walk through the fire when they find their way to me. I will walk through the fire. This I know, this I know. I will walk through the fire. This I know. I will rebuild the mountain. This I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountain. This I know. I will rebuild the mountain when they find their way to me. I will rebuild the mountain. This I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountain. This I know.
Oh, that's a wonderful song, Matt. Absolutely wonderful song. Wow. And I'm looking at the lyrics here, and song about perseverance.
Yeah, if we only sang the first half of that song, it would be like a lot of other songs, but the hopefulness, especially when in the hands of a young woman like Saro Lynch-Thomason, it gives me great comfort to know that there's going to be people walking through the fire and wading through the water and rebuilding the mountains. So I love the second half of that song. It's just a great way to sort of kind of an anecdote to the first half.
Yeah, songs like that have been certainly are one of the mainstays, I think, of community connection, because we realize that it's in community that we're really able to persevere and to handle the challenges that come our way.
It's funny you should say that, because sometimes when I'm leading that song with a big group, without even being asked, the song is sort of in the first person. By the end of the song, that will shift. All of a sudden, without being told, everybody's singing, "We will walk through the fire. We will rebuild the mountain." And that without any kind of,
Prompt
urgent
from
for
you.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, very cool. I know that some folks here know, your work and know who you are, but you want to give us just a little background on you, kind of where you come from, and sort of,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It was very clear very early on that it was either going to be a life of folk music or a life of crime. Um, because when I was 14 years old, my English teacher played a record by Tom Paxton. And at that point in my life, I was a terrible high school student. I got 2 credits out of 6. I was on this really bad path. And when I discovered that record, it took me to the library. I started learning about everything I read on the liner notes, about the Greenwich Village folk scene, about Pine Woods, about all these different about the folk music community, really. And it absolutely changed my life. Reggie, I often tell this story about one of my teachers had a sign hanging in her room back then that said, "Art saves lives." And I always thought at the time that was a ridiculous idea. And then I spent my whole life proving that to be true. So very quickly after that, I started playing and singing. In 1986, I got a radio program out of Wayne State University in downtown Detroit. And right in the middle of a Saturday afternoon, I had 3 hours of folk music. My dear friend Robert Jones did 2 hours of blues, and there was 2 hours of bluegrass right in the middle of one of the most urban cities in the country. And I thought, what is it about this roots music that appeals to so many people? Yeah. And so I basically have spent 35 years of my life sharing this music both on stage and through the radio. Currently, I do a program on WKAR out of Michigan State Public Radio on Sunday nights. So I've kept radio going for about 35 years, and that parallels my life as a musician. I got to tell you real quick, though, what made me a song leader was talking to Pete Seeger. Mm-hmm. I mean, so many people can say that. Yeah. I had this interview with Pete when he was 89, and he told me that it was never his intention to put a song in people's ears, that it was always his intention to put a song on people's lips. And I thought to myself at that moment, no one person can carry on the work of Pete Seeger, but I can do this part. And so I told him that day that I would inspire or lead 100 community sings across the country every year. And so far, so good. I've been teaching song leading and getting folks to sing all over the country. It's been the best part of my life as a singer.
I know that you've been teaching for years at Swananoa and also other music camps, but I've just been so impressed by, we've led song circles together.
I'll never forget
Um,
that one in particular.
uh,
That was so much fun.
yeah, it's Swananoa that summer. But you've also interviewed some of the most interesting folks in folk music. You want to just talk about some of them and what they sort of gave to you?
Absolutely. I was very lucky because my show was on a Saturday afternoon in Detroit. Anybody who happened to be coming to Michigan to play places like the Arc in Ann Arbor would stop by. So I would, and I did all my shows live at that time. So I would say I probably did over 300 live interviews. So not able to edit or anything. So the conversation became the important thing.
Yeah.
And over that time, interviewing Peter Yarrow, interviewing Noel Paul Stuckey, interviewing the great songwriter Townes Van Zandt, interviewing Pete, interviewing that plus the traditional people who I love, like Percy Bones Danforth. Nobody remembers Percy, but in Ann Arbor, he was the guy who brought the playing of the bones back into our consciousness. So
Yeah.
it was a big wide range from Percy to Townes, and I think I took away just a ton from every single person that I talked to. It was Odetta. I got to talk to Odetta, who was just wonderful, and Richie Havens, and the list goes on, and just that chance to be a couple feet away from these folks and to just sort of dig into their wisdom is another thing that has just absolutely sort of sculpted who I am as an artist and as a person.
Well, so much of what we've been doing and this community really has been just so actively um, staying together through the pandemic and singing every day to just kind of
I love it.
reinform our hearts and souls as we have been dealing with just unbelievable things that we could never have foreseen. But so much of life is about that, and you have been at the forefront of starting song circles and inspiring people to become song leaders. What's one thing that maybe you can say to us as we enter this new landscape of gathering again and beginning the process of kind of relearning what it's like to be together as a group?
Well, I know as a song leader, I think the thing that I have in my mind more than anything else, and this was before the pandemic, but I think really also applies especially after we come back together again. And I really learned this as a teacher. I taught public school for about 12 years.
Hmm.
And that is no one will participate or learn anything unless they feel safe. So every song circle I create, the number one thing I think about is how can I make these folks feel safe to do something that is very vulnerable, which is to sing. And one of the things that have surprised me as a song leader is just how much trauma there is involved with people and singing. That people were told at a young age they shouldn't sing, or they were told to
Hmm.
just mouth the words, honey. I like to tell them at my sings early on that these are created especially for you. This is not a choir. We're not going to go out on tour. We are here to sing right now together. And singing heals you. I didn't say anything about good singing, whatever that means.
Right.
Singing itself heals you. So just be your voice. And I find once people feel safe and comfortable to do it, miracles happen. And I mean that I don't. That's not hyperbole. Miracles can happen in these song circles that we create.
I know that you are also doing a lot of work in schools and a lot of work in educational cycles. Uh, I have no idea why suddenly. Oh, because I didn't take my Do Not Disturb song. Sorry about that. You and and Robert Jones have been doing a lot of things in with your foundation, and you want to talk
Yeah.
about that briefly before we get back and sing that song again?
Absolutely. The guy that I mentioned earlier that did the blues program on my radio show, on my station in Detroit, is a guy by the name of Reverend Robert Jones, and we have been friends for 35 years now, I think. And we, for years and years, have traveled around and did a program called Music That Matters. For kids, we've gone into elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, basically telling America's story through music. Now, Robert's an African-American man. I'm a white man. We are dear, dear close friends without ever mentioning the word, diversity. They see it. And they see two friends making music together, telling America's story through music. And we come to the conclusion that diversity isn't something we tolerate, it's something we celebrate. Because if it wasn't for the sharing of this music between cultures, we wouldn't have American music today. So that was one thing. And then later on in life, just in the last few years, we started this little nonprofit called Common Chords so that we could better get this message out into the community and bring folks together through art and music who may not get together under normal circumstances. Robert and I were born 20 minutes apart, me in the suburbs of Detroit, Robert in the city. And if it wasn't for this music, we may have never crossed paths. So we want to come up with ways to get people to cross paths.
Well, I know that anytime I cross paths with you, I come away feeling so much better.
It's same to you, my friend.
And part of that is that we also get a chance to sing. So you want to lead us in a chorus or a couple of verses of that wonderful song again?
Yeah, well, in fact, why don't we do the part that's hopeful? We'll just do the second half of this.
Okay, good. That'd be good for today. As you started singing that, I was just thinking that yesterday we had a lot of rain here in New York, and the bridge that's been repaired 4 times it survived. So there's more waters rising.
I think about 2 weeks after I learned this song, the floods started happening in Louisiana. The fires started happening out in California. It was like Saro was prophetic in writing this song. So
and
we'll send it out
to
all those communities suffering under all this stuff.
Great.
Let's do We. We will wade through the water, this I know. This I know, we will wade through the water, this I know. We will wade through the water when they find their way to me. We will wade through the water, this I know. This I know, we will wade through the water, this I know. We will walk through the fire, this I know. This I know, we will walk through the fire, this I know. We will walk through the fire when they find their way to me. We will walk through the fire, this I know. This I know. We will walk through the fire, this I know. We will rebuild the mountains, this I know. This I know. We will rebuild the mountain, this I know. We will rebuild the mountain when they find their way to me. We will rebuild the mountain, this I know. This I know. We will rebuild the mountain, this I know.
Well, we are rebuilding for sure. Everybody give a little bit of love. Give a lot of love.
What an honor to be part of this community today. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you so much for joining us today, Matt. And I'm so happy to have been with you all today. I'll be back actually not too long from now. And until then, I wish you all great music and spirit in your hearts.
Yay! Thank you, Reggie. Thank you so much, Matt. And it's really awesome because I didn't know of you personally, but I know of several of your projects with Folk Alley and Sing Out. So when I was writing the email for today, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for today. Also, for anyone that's on our mailing list or would like to join our mailing list, a lot of the links that were in the chat and were on Facebook and were mentioned today are all in the email for today. So if you would like to sign up for that mailing list and get all of these cool links kind of ahead of time, do it. A couple other reminders. So tonight is Dan Zane's Constructive White Conversations, the Baltimore chapter. I'll put the links in right now on Facebook Live. They're already there. This Thursday, which is tomorrow, is our Daily Antidote cocktail party. We'll be meeting from 4 to 5:30. Bring costumes if you want. but they're not required. Bring something yummy to drink, but just bring yourself. We want to hang out with you. And I think those are kind of it. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thanks for being here with us today. See you tomorrow.